Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speak Easy English. I'm Henry.
And I'm Luna. This is part of our At the Bank series.
We've already learned how to open a bank account, deposit or withdraw money, send a wire transfer, and even apply for a credit card.
And today we move on to another important step. Asking about bank fees, something every newcomer will face when using a bank.
That's right. Banks like TD, RBC, or Scotiabank in Canada often have many kinds of fees. It can feel confusing if you don't ask clearly.
We'll help you step by step how to ask about monthly fees, ATM fees, transfer fees, and even hidden charges.
And remember, we'll speak slowly so you can shadow with us. Shadowing means you repeat right after we say it.
This'll help your pronunciation and make these useful money phrases stay in your memory.
By the end of this episode, you'll feel confident asking your bank questions and saving money.
So let's begin with opening an account and asking about fees.
When you first open a bank account, it's a good idea to ask right away about fees.
Yeah, because if you don't ask, you might be surprised later when money suddenly disappears from your balance.
The bank staff might say, "There's a monthly fee of $15.
You can go, "Oh, is there an account with no monthly fee?"
Repeat after us, "Is there an account with no monthly fee?"
Another thing staff often say is, "This account has a minimum balance."
Well, that means you need to keep like $1,000 in the account, or you'll get charged a fee.
So you can ask, "What happens if my balance goes below the minimum?"
Repeat after us. What happens if my balance goes below the minimum?
Sometimes the staff will explain, "If your balance drops, we'll charge you $5 each month."
Right. So always ask these questions before you pick an account.
Okay, next, let's talk about monthly account fees.
All right. Now let's dive into monthly account fees. Banks love to charge these little things.
Yeah, sometimes it's like $10, sometimes $15, and you only notice when your balance goes down.
You can ask, "What's the monthly fee for this account?"
Repeat after us. What's the monthly fee for this account?
Some banks will say, "The fee is waived if you keep a certain balance."
So you could ask, "How much do I need to keep in the account to avoid the fee?"
Repeat after us, "How much do I need to keep in the account to avoid the fee?"
And sometimes they'll add, "If you use direct deposit, we won't charge you."
Right. So always check if there are ways to make the fee disappear.
Good. Now let's move on and look at ATM and withdrawal fees.
Now let's talk about ATM and withdrawal fees, because those can really add up.
Yeah, especially if you use a machine that's not your bank's ATM. They always charge extra.
You can ask, "What's the fee for using another bank's ATM?"
Repeat after us. What's the fee for using another bank's ATM?
Sometimes the bank might say it's $3 each time you withdraw.
Or they'll say, we also charge a fee if you take money out too many times in 1 month.
So you can ask, how many free withdrawals do I get each month?
Repeat after us. How many free withdrawals do I get each month?
Exactly, and always check if there's a cheaper way, like using your own bank's machines.
Perfect. Now let's move on to international transfer fees.
All right, let's move on to international transfer fees. These can get pretty expensive if you're not careful.
Yeah, like when you send money back home or to family overseas, the bank always takes a cut.
You can ask, how much is the fee for sending money internationally?
Repeat after us. How much is the fee for sending money internationally?
Sometimes the bank will say, we charge a flat fee, maybe $15, plus a percentage of the transfer.
Or they'll say the exchange rate also includes a hidden fee.
So it's smart to ask, what exchange rate are you giving me today?
Repeat after us. What exchange rate are you giving me today?
And don't forget to check how long it takes. You can ask, how many days does the transfer need?
Exactly. Knowing both the fee and the time will save you stress.
Great. Next, let's look at credit card fees.
Now, let's get into credit card fees because these can really catch you off guard.
Yeah, some cards sound free, but later you realize there's an annual fee or interest charges.
So you can ask, is there an annual fee for this card?
Repeat after us. Is there an annual fee for this card?
The staff might also say there's a late payment fee if you don't pay on time.
You could ask, how much is the late payment fee?
Repeat after us. How much is the late payment fee?
And don't forget about foreign transaction fees. Some banks charge when you use your card abroad.
Right. So you can ask, do you charge a fee for purchases in another country?
Exactly. Knowing all these fees helps you avoid surprises.
Perfect. Next, let's check out hidden or extra charges.
All right. Now, let's talk about hidden or extra charges. These are the sneaky ones people often miss.
Yeah, like service fees, overdraft fees, or even charges for printing paper statements.
You can ask, are there any extra fees I should know about?
Repeat after us. Are there any extra fees I should know about?
Sometimes banks also charge if you use a teller instead of the ATM.
So you can ask, is there a fee for talking to a teller?
Repeat after us. Is there a fee for talking to a teller?
And don't forget, overdraft fees can be huge. That's when you spend more money than you have.
Right. So it's always smart to double-check and make sure you know every possible charge.
Good. Let's move on and learn how to avoid bank fees.
Now let's look at some smart ways to avoid paying bank fees. Nobody likes giving money away, right?
Yeah, one simple trick is to keep the minimum balance if your account requires it.
You can ask, what balance do I need to keep to avoid the fee?
Repeat after us. What balance do I need to keep to avoid the fee?
Another tip is to use only your bank's ATMs. That way, you skip the extra charges.
And you can also set up direct deposit. Many banks remove the monthly fee if your pay goes in automatically.
So you can ask, if I use direct deposit, will the fee be waived?
Repeat after us. If I use direct deposit, will the fee be waived?
And finally, always check your statements online. Paper copies often cost extra.
Right. These little habits save you money every month.
Great. Now let's wrap up with a quick review and role-play challenge.
All right, we've covered a lot today. Monthly fees, ATM charges, transfer costs, credit card fees, even hidden extras.
Yeah, and we also talked about smart ways to avoid them. That's real money saved every month.
Now, let's do a short role play so you can hear how all these phrases sound in a real conversation.
Exactly. This way, you see how everything connects, just like at the bank.
Okay, I'll be the bank staff, and Henry, you're the customer.
Sounds good. Let's try.
Welcome to the bank. How can I help you today?
Hi, I'd like to open an account, but I want to know, what's the monthly fee?
This account is $15 a month, but if you keep $1,000, there's no fee.
Okay, what happens if my balance goes below the minimum?
Then we charge $5 each month.
All right, thanks for explaining. One more. What's the fee for using another bank's ATM?
It's $3 each time.
Good to know. And what about sending money overseas?
That's $15 plus a small percentage.
Got it. I'll think about which account works best.
Nice job. Now, here are your quick review questions.
1. What's the common monthly fee?
2. What can you ask to check about ATM charges?
3. What's one way to avoid paying the monthly fee?
If you missed any, just go back and listen again.
And for extra practice, try acting out the role play with a friend.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe.
You can download today's key words from the link in the description.
Thanks for joining us. See you next time.